track. Because basically, if you didn't get a start, you don't have anything. It's all right.
Tomac, he was racing a track.
Tomac got wheel tapped by Chase.
Yeah, he did the hard enduro double blip over him, and then he came back all the way to 5th.
I know.
So there was a track to be had there.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. This is the Dirt Tricks RM Fantasy Group for 2025. I'm here with Zach.
Yes, sir.
I am Clint. And guys, so if you didn't know already, the RM Fantasy Group is really easy to join. You log on to rmfantasysx.com, browse groups, and then you could just type in Dirt Tricks. One word, no spaces. You'll find us. Go ahead, lock in, join the banter. We are closing the group after round 10, but we got some serious things to talk about after last week.
Dude, A1 did not disappoint, not one bit.
No, A1 disappointed completely, utterly, and thoroughly for me.
Yeah, you know, let's put that up on the screen. That's the two champion boys. Where did they finish? Was it 11th and 12th?
I think they're in the back somewhere.
Yeah, 11 and 12. Wow.
They didn't do very good.
I think Next Bets had that a little wrong, huh?
They did, and I think Next Bets lost some money on those who were hating on the Lawrence brothers.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ando had a little part in that, huh?
Oh my gosh. So check out this shot here, guys. Okay, this is from behind the gate. You clearly see Anderson just kicks over hard into Jet. And so
Jet tried to get through it too. He held her wide. It was kind of wheeling through. I think the craziest thing though is after Ando, getting a third place with half of his spokes in his front wheel totally gone. I don't know if you saw them going through the whoops, but all those spokes are just
flopping around. Yeah, no, it was bad.
Pretty sketchy.
It was all bad.
Yeah, but hey. All I know is he lost some points on that, but dang, you always get it back on that wild card.
I did.
This guy right here is always spot on a wild card, guys. So
I changed my wild card after watching qualifying. I was like, okay, Colt Nichols, he doesn't have 10th in him, and that's what I picked last week was Colt for 10th, and then so I just reverted to my all-time favorite, Mookie.
he's always there. Doesn't matter if it's 7th, 10th, 14th.
Nope.
Mookie's there.
Mookie's there. So even after a rough get off in the LCQ, or that sent him to the LCQ.
Yeah, the heat. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just a backflop. Yeah. I love having Stuart up, James, his older brother, obviously, up in the booth because he's like, come on, bro. Just get up.
Yeah.
He's fine. Yeah. He's fine. He's like, oh, actually, you know what? It might be a little worse.
Took a little spill at the sand dunes.
I thought. But, dude, let's just get into it because I think, honestly, this A1 was, I know, like you said, it probably wasn't the best for you, but it was so sick. The parody was perfect, just the way I wanted it.
It was just the way you wanted it. So this is what excuse me, this is what kind of caught me about A1. The track sucked.
Super one line.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's no racing to be had on that track. It was basically if you didn't get a start, you don't have anything. It's all right.
Tomac, he was racing a track.
Tomac got wheel tapped by Chase.
Yeah, he did the hard enduro double blip over him, and then he came back all the way to 5th.
I know.
So there was a track to be had there. I just don't know if Jet was racing that same track.
Makes me wonder. I know Jet went down twice. People were gunning for him. A lot of guys don't like the whole Jet thing right now. It's kind of sitting.
Yeah, I think
it's sitting bad with a lot of the pros out there. How glorious he thinks he is.
Jumping.
Me.
Corners.
Me.
Starts.
Me.
Whoops.
Yeah, me again.
Adapting to the track and ruts.
I'd say me again. I thought.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think, last year he was kind of that dark horse of people knew he was great, but he didn't quite have that pressure. And we kind of talked about this in the first show. Now everyone's gunning for him because he's obviously got a little bit more cockiness to him.
Me.
And he's just saying, hey, I'm the best at everything. And you come out and a guy like Anderson, who's been doing this for
so long, dude.
10 years.
So, I know for sure I remember Anderson back in 2011. Jeez, so.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Dude's a seasoned veteran, man.
So, he's obviously, I think Jet now has so much to prove.
Yeah.
Me.
And he didn't have that last year, obviously, right? He was just going out there super free, and now they're saying his bike isn't working that well. I don't know if I'm reading too far into that. We'll get into some lap times here, but I think I think for the most part, we saw, hey, this is going to be a little different this season. You know, Sexton's coming out just guns a-blazing. That guy looked great.
So Sexton looked composed. He looked like he had a plan. He stuck to it.
Yeah.
He had a little flame out. I mean, that was like the only mistake I saw from him was just that one simple flame out.
Yeah, and yeah, and we got to talk about Ken Roxon. But let's just go through who the places were. So Chase obviously won. We had Kenny in second, which was incredible. Kenny's always solid in A1, and we didn't talk about him. You're usually the guy that's right on him, but we didn't put him in our top 5. Then we have Ando in third, who basically held off Cooper Webb the whole moto, right to the end too.
Right.
And then we had Tomac getting Barsha right at the end for 5th, and then the wild card was obviously Mookie.
Right, yeah. And you know, what do you think about Prado's ride?
I mean, it's exactly kind of like what we saw last year. He got better towards the middle of the season before he left.
Yeah, but dude came out with
he had a whole shot. He had a whole shot, and everyone was like, "Okay, here's Prado." He didn't look great in the heats either, so I knew he was gonna set anchor. But he had a mistake again. He crashed. But I think he's gonna be in that 10th range this year, as it sits now. I don't know. Anderson's obviously A1 on that team. He's still top dog. Maybe he gets better. He's young, obviously, so he's got some time to learn. And again, I think he's kind of in that position this year too, where this is his full-time job. There's a little more pressure on him. It's not just like, hey, here you go. Let's see how you do against these kids. It's like, no, all right, this is my job.
Yeah,
this is
you
my
know what to do.
now. Yeah. So
we shall see, man.
But let's just Ken Roxon. Ken Roxon, guys.
I can't say it enough, guys. I've been a Roxon fan for over a decade, and I can't tell you enough great things about that guy. And when it comes to his racecraft, I think that's what just is the most impressive part about that dude is the fact that he in the post interviews, he was talking about, I got second. I felt really good with second. He goes, and actually about some point in the race, I actually had to make a decision. Like, am I going to go for first or am I going to hang back with second? Dude is like, I think I'm good with second. Like, I don't need first right now. I don't want that pressure of everyone thinking like, now I have to get first.
Yeah,
and he's like, I think I'll just lock in right. Like to make that decision, be like, you know what? I'm right here. Like, that's some G stuff right there. Like, I like that.
Yeah. And it's just consistent riding from Kenny. He just looked solid. There was no, riding balls out, so to speak. It just was like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to be a top 3 guy tonight, and I got to
pinned.
Yeah,
so good.
He looked great,
yeah.
And I think that's where we kind of talk about Chase is he did have the fastest lap. Chase did. I think it was like lap 6 out of everyone. He had the fastest lap. So the dude is on rails, and he looks solid. I mean, that guy, I don't know. He's going to be tough to beat here in San Diego. Obviously, we'll get into our picks later, but he's got the bike figured out. It seems like he's much more calm. He's, not the guy that everyone was obviously thinking about A1. Everyone was like, he might have a solid start to the year, but running away with it, honestly.
Seriously.
Just running away with it. He did the same thing with the heat. He did the same thing with the main. And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
All season too. Like, I know there's some riders that come out strong, but apparently Kenny's just been that one that always does this. It seems like every year he comes out super strong, but you don't really see that like taper off. He's just a contender all year long. Where some other riders, it's like
Anderson.
I was going to say Anderson or Barsha is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You'll see a strong showing at A1, and then it's just like never see him again.
Yeah,
it's like they used all their talent on the first one.
Yeah. And I think, like you're saying, those solid guys is going to be Chase.
Yep.
It's going to be Tomac.
Yep.
I mean, I'm hoping Jet gets up there.
What about Coop?
Yeah, obviously Coop.
Okay.
Yeah, Coop.
See, this is the issue though, and this is where I need you guys really lock in down in the comments. And I do have a top comment pick from last video, and I'll get to that in a second. But this is where I want you guys to lock in. So we got a lot of fast dudes, and I'm not saying that like everyone on the track that is in that main event belongs there. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right now. I'm not picking on anyone in particular, but that top 10 is super fast.
They're all champions.
They're all champions, dude.
I'm looking at the list right now, and they are all champions in the 250 class.
I like
Malcolm Stewart, Aaron Plessinger, Justin Hill, who won on PC, Justin Cooper, who won on Star. Did Barsha win one with Geico Honda? I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, no, I think he's won a
Cooper,
couple.
Webb, Ando, Kenny, Chase.
Yeah. Dude, look at Justin Hill, dude.
And then you're not even counting the 11th and 1200 Lawrence and Jet Lawrence, and they're obviously champions.
Yeah,
Shane Malcoreth is
Malcolm, has the 250
dude. So
championship.
all of these guys are just the top brass.
Dude, and last year's champion 12th.
Yeah,
Like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's crazy and
Stacked,
dude. It's just a stacked field. And what's a bummer is like we talked about with A1, it wasn't super race friendly. So
No.
these guys that are getting the good starts, they're going to be your most consistent. And that's where I kind of think you can't take Ken Roxon out of your top 5 this week because he's such a great starter.
He's consistent. And
Yeah.
so this is where I need you guys to
And
lock
Chase
in.
is,
I
too.
want to hear from you. So out of those 12, I'm going to limit it to 12 because, I mean, we could go well beyond that list because there's even some more people that are down in that list that are championship winning riders. But we'll say that out of that top 12, who do you think at the end of the season is going to be your top 5? Now, I'm not asking in particular order. You could just drop any order, but I'm kind of curious to see if a lot of people believe that the Cooper Webbs are going to be in there at the end of the season. If, Hunter Lawrence or Jed or Plessinger, I know injuries play a lot into those things, but it's really kind of cool to see where everyone thinks that those the power of those riders is going to finish off in the season.
Yeah.
And let me get real quick to the comments in the last video. This is my favorite right here. So I picked this.
Perfect.
This is from Central Coast Cruiser 2084. I think we're looking at 4 guys who could win SX title, where the next 6 guys are podium contenders.
Okay.
Obviously, Jet, Eli, Coop,
Perfect.
Chase. Tell Zach his sprockets are much better than his picks.
No wonder you picked that one. Central Coast, you are correct.
Yeah.
My picks typically aren't that great because, again, we've talked about it, but I pick with my heart. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's on my sleeve, guys.
Yep.
I pick who I like. I was texting Clint during the race because obviously we had a bet going on with Jet and Tomac.
Yep.
And we just love bantering back and forth. And I told him straight up, I'm like, Eli's probably my hero. Because
Yeah.
I think he's just, dude, the way he rides is unbelievable. He's the only guy that kind of hangs it out there. And it just looks like he's working that bike still.
I can't argue that.
He just looks like the old school James that I used to love watching. And so, I don't know, man. It's great comment. Thanks for leaving a comment, guys. We love hearing from you guys. It's fun doing these picks. Again, it's just us bench racing of a couple never has-beens. But it's fun for us, and it's something to break up our day when we're making all these damn sprockets.
That's
so thank
right.
you, guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I do need to bring up this because I told you guys will hold me to it in the next video. Barsha, which I don't agree with that at all. 9.
Yeah.
Prado 10. I'm saying right now, like I would stake my right shoe on this. There is no chance Barsha's beating Prado. And I said there is no chance that Barsha is beating Prado.
He did bet his left shoe.
Yep.
He came in Monday. He was wearing an opposite, basically a different shoe on the other foot. It wasn't quite correct, so we may end up having.
It was cold. Okay, it was 18 degrees that morning.
Yeah, so he ended up wearing a shoe. But
I wore a shoe, but it wasn't. So I lost my left shoe.
Yeah.
I just replaced it with another one. So there is some accountability there. However, the owner of the company looks at me and goes, "Do you know you have 2 different shoes on?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And you lose a bet? I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He just didn't want to know anything else. He's like, "Okay, I hope that's what it is."
Yeah, and that's what we love to do, guys. We have a whole shop full of guys that love the sport, and I think you're right. I think those top contenders, Central Coast, that's them.
Yeah.
And I think what was really telling though in A1 is who's going to be there and who's really locked in this season. And
can you really determine that yet though? Like staying power, can you really determine that just from A1?
History says no.
No.
History says no. But again, Supercross is so crazy that I really think these guys that are in this top 5, other than obviously Jet's going to be up there. I'm picking him in my top 5. He's gonna get it back. But these guys are coming out swinging, man. And Chase doesn't start this hot usually.
Neither does. Yeah, there's actually a lot of guys that don't start this hot, and I'm kind of upset to see there's some riders I expected to do better. I don't know what happened to Cooper.
Yeah,
Justin Cooper.
Kind of just was there all day.
Yeah, I expected a lot more from him. Barsha blew me away because it's not like it was given to Barsha. From start to finish, he climbed up, and there was a time that when Eli passed him, I was like,
at the end there,
in my brain, I was like, there's no way Eli's going to get Barsha. And then he did, because Eli does Eli things, but still Barsha still had that speed, which was really freaking cool to see that. I know he's been training at the Baker factory, and it shows.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, it's funny because we've seen this happen time and time again, is when Tomac is going through that pack, he usually gets to Barsha and can't make the pass.
No.
I don't know what it is. Obviously Barsha is another guy like Tomac in the sense of the dude's just throwing the bike everywhere.
What's the motocross quote? You can't seal the deal.
Off Supercross, where it says just typical guys can never seal the deal, right? They get right to it, but they never seal the deal. We might have to cut that in. Yeah, it's the redheaded chick. But with Tripp Carlisle. But it's just it's pretty incredible what Tomac did. Obviously he gets second, third off the start. He makes a pass on Prado on the first rhythm section. And we're like, Jet's messing around with a tough block.
I don't even know what he's doing.
He doesn't even know hard enduro. He can't get over the damn thing.
It's hooked on his peg.
He's looking down. Everyone's like, this is the exact start that Tomac needed. He's gonna just grease this thing. And what's he do? Tucks the front end, which
farms it.
I don't know. I wasn't noticing it in the heat races, but that corner didn't have those two tough blocks right there.
No, they threw him out there on purpose.
They wasn't on purpose, but they were definitely farther into the corner. So when I don't know. I don't know if Tomac admitted it, but I think that made a play towards it. Mm-hmm. He kind of cut to the inside, and the tough blocks were there. He obviously goes down, and then it was game on because Jet then gets by him because Jet's now back on the track, obviously. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, shoot.
Here he comes.
Here comes, Jet's going to start making this crazy run at it. And then he goes down again a couple laps later.
He gets punted. Both times that he went down is because people. So the first time was Anderson.
Yeah.
Anderson.
The more you keep talking about, him, I think he's just going to keep just greasing your boy.
I know he's a fan of these videos. And that's kind of the thing is like, I got to hold him accountable.
Yeah.
And then he got punted. Then he got punted in the sand again. Someone drove it into his foot peg and punted him out of it. Anyways,
both Hunter and Jet had a horrible time in that sand section.
Like I was texting him during the race. It is racecraft. It is Rebin is racing, and you have to expect some bumping. Yeah,
especially A1. These guys are all jittery. They're coming off the line insane. But then again, right? So Jet falls, and he's back in close to last place again. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't really see him climb the pack as best as I thought he was going to. I think at least a top 10 is where I was thinking. I mean, because that was 3-4 laps into the race still.
I mean, you could have almost picked Jet for your
wild card. Yeah. And Tomac was just gunning. The guy was freaking on fire.
He's so good.
Yeah. He had the second fastest lap of the whole race. Chase being the first, having the fastest lap. You know where Jet was throughout that whole race?
Like 15th or something?
Well, I mean, 106 was his fastest lap, so 2 seconds slower than
It
Jet.
Sounds like to me after the second crash, he just kind of said, I'm just going to ride.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that's unlike Jet.
And James and Ricky are obviously in the broadcast were saying, hey, that Honda doesn't look like it's set up correctly. It looked like he was pushing the front end. It looked like he didn't know where the front end was. And James was like, man, that with a motorcycle not knowing where your front tire is going to be is sketchy. He was not trusting it. So I don't know. It's a weird thing because maybe Jet was smelling a little too much of his own VP racing fuels this whole off season.
They switched to ETS.
Oh, so he's been smelling that ETS.
Yeah, a lot of people are switching to ETS.
And I think he just thought he was set up. And now he's finding out A1, he can't even go through the whoops.
Yeah.
That's going to be
I know, especially for Jet too, he likes the stiffer setups on his bike. Mm-hmm. He likes really, you can watch how much
he's riding up in the stroke.
Yes. Yeah. And it's more than a lot of people out there where you look at guys like Eli and Chase kind of rides this stuff high up in the stroke too, but some of the more seasoned veterans, your Roxons, your Elis, they definitely like their stuff down the stroke a little bit. Where he's just
he's way up there.
Yeah. So maybe it was too stiff and he couldn't get it to settle. I don't know. There's so much things. There's so much that we could go on and on, but I think we need to get to our picks, bro.
All right, let's get to our picks. This week, I think it's again another tough week. We're in San Diego. It's going to be beautiful weather down there. I'm so thankful for that because last year we had a lot of mudders to begin with. So let's be thankful that there's going to be some sunshine out there. Those damn fires that totally ripped through that area. We feel bad for all you guys out there that are struggling with that. But hopefully this brings some change to you guys, and Cali will be better for it. But Yeah, let's go into it. You want to lead us off, Clint?
Sure, I can do that. So, real quick, NXT Bets lost some money last week, and I'm going to say that right now.
And it's Next Bets. Yeah, let's get into that. And I messed that up last time too.
Okay.
Next Bets.
Next Bets.
Yeah.
They lost some money because from my remembrance, they had Chase Sexton had like a plus 485 or 425 or something like that. So some people made some money on Next Bets.
This week, I don't know what Vegas is smoking again.
I don't know either.
Because now they have Chase for San Diego's win. We're going to stop doing the picks here because we got to get into this. This is interesting.
This is juicy.
Chase is plus 733 to win San Diego when the guy just straight up put it to everyone.
Yeah, 733.
So what that means is you bet $20, you win $166 if Chase wins.
Sounds like, I mean, I've spent $20 in worse situations before than that.
Jet is still negative, so that means you have to put, if you put $20, you're not winning your $20 back. You're winning like $16 back.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Then they have Tomac with the second best odds at plus 567, which is still pretty solid for a guy that just went through the whole pack. $20 wins 133.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cooper Webb at plus 669 at 153.80 if you bet 20. Dude, if I'm looking at this, I'm like, what is...
I'm throwing 20 on 3 of those riders right now.
I'm throwing 20 on Chase Sexton because the guy didn't show any chinks in his armor. Nah. So, I don't know, guys. It's freaking nuts.
It is nuts.
And the bummer part about it is we're in Nevada, and they don't have any sports book for this. So,
dang
all you guys on the East Coast, and I think Oregon and stuff, take advantage of it.
And I said it last time too. It's you guys do not have to with Next Bets, you don't have to create an account and log in and do all that stuff. We're just using this as information to help guide the picks. So that's all kind of what we're doing here. So
yeah, it's interesting.
I'm gonna return to the.
Well, let's see here because this guy, if he.
It's blank, bro. I'm writing the slate right now.
He's writing the slate. He's going off of all gut.
So can you zoom in? Yes, you can. Look at that. That camera's so good. Zoom in. I'm blank. Okay, this is like a thing for me right now. Like I'm saying it was an accident.
For you to even be second guessing himself, he's usually every week he's putting Jet there. He's there. He's putting it in my face. Him just looking at all these names, I think he's got him a little rattled.
So my real I'm putting Jet in first. I'm that dumb. Okay, I'm that dumb.
Whoa.
I'm doing it. I'm just.
He figured that bike out.
Hey, they're gonna figure it out this week. They're
okay.
Team Honda. Team Nami. They do not.
He's got that rowdy feel to him, huh? Jet? He's got that rowdy.
They got a lot of money and they need to put it in the right spot. That's what it is.
He's got that rowdy sparks, and I feel like Hunter's kind of. That wingman that's going to be played in. So you got Jet in first. Wow.
Yeah,
wow, guys.
I'm going to do it.
Drop that in the comments. If anyone's picking Jet first, come on.
Yep. And so I'm going with Next Bets on this one at a negative number. I think the odds are in Jet's favor to just get a freaking start. I am going to keep Eli in second. I feel like, yes, Chase rode amazing.
Wow.
He belonged in that first place slot. Just a lot of bad things happen. I think if Eli did not go down, he would have won.
Chase was definitely riding it. I think it would have been a fantastic race. Yeah. The way Tomac was riding, I would agree. I think he does take it, though.
I think Eli would have won.
Chase wouldn't have pushed it.
Chase would have got second and Roczen third is how I think that would have gone.
Yep.
That woulda, coulda, shoulda thing, right? You can't play it, but that's what I'm doing. So
only horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yep, I'm going Jet, Eli, Chase Sexton in third.
Okay.
God, please do not come back and bite me.
Yeah, you need.
I'm toiling with fourth right now, guys. So Cooper Webb, I feel like I just need to see a little bit more from him. So I'm gonna put Jason Anderson fourth.
Whoa, your guy in the top. Wow, he's going so off base this year. This is incredible, guys.
Going Cooper Webb for fifth.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wild card is seventh place.
Yep. I'll put Hunter Lawrence in there for seventh.
The Hunter.
And I'm gonna submit my picks now.
Wow.
It is locked in on Rocky Mountain Fantasy SX.
For a guy that was so intertwined with HEP, you don't even have the guy that got second place. That's wow.
So here's my issue with Roczen, and I need to see this in my picks are subject to change. Okay, I need to see
I think
something
you need
about
some
San
changes.
Diego, and I am worried that if Kenny doesn't get a start,
Just a flash in the pan. Is that what you're worried about?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, guys, I got to go with Chase Sexton. I think the guy just looked freaking solid, and I don't think that train is stopping anytime soon. So I got Chase winning the whole thing. I got Tomac in second, which to me, I have a little bit of a fear, and I'll talk to this about Jet too. I feel like because this is Eli's last season, supposedly.
Supposedly,
I
it's marketing, by the way.
yeah, totally. But I think for the most part, he's kind of gonna be checkers or wreckers to me. It kind of feels like that vibe. It feels like the dude is just on rails. He's gonna try to win as many races as he can this year. I don't know if he's totally.
I can't figure him out.
Yeah, he's a enigma. But I've got him in second, which I honestly think he might just be fifth or first for the rest of the year, but we'll see. Tomac in second. I have Cooper Webb in third. Again, he looked like he was right on Endo's butt the whole race.
Yep.
He's learned. He's figured some things out. He's going to be a podium guy this week. I have a gut feeling about that.
All right.
He had one more lap, and he probably would have passed Anderson for third last week. I got Jet in fourth.
Okay.
I kind of have the same feeling with Jet, though, like I just talked about with Eli.
With Eli, yeah.
I think he's so in this mode of like, I got to prove it that I'm the fastest dude on this
I
track.
think everyone has that though.
But he's now said it.
Right.
He's now verbally said, oh, yeah, it's me. That's the
Me,
fastest at
again.
X, Y, and Z. I'm going to beat everyone.
I'm the best there is.
Yeah, so he's just going to keep putting it to it. And these top 5 guys that I'm listing, they're going to all give it to him. You think you're fast? All right, let me see how you handle this. You know? So I got him in fourth, and I think that's going to be like a first place start. Chase shows him a wheel. He goes down, gets back up, something like that. Make it fun. And then I got Kenny in fifth.
Yeah, I kind of like your picks better than mine, honestly.
Yeah.
There's one thing. It's just kind of burning as like, when does Kenny not top 5? Like,
And it's usually halfway or later on in the season is
Yeah.
when we tails off, and I think I need to start cashing in on these first few rounds because Kenny's always there.
I need to see some qualifying times. I think Kenny it was a combination of a great start. It was, Jet going down, Eli going down,
Yeah.
Kenny wiggled up there. And I love Kenny's racecraft. He's a fast guy. He almost caught Chase at one point when Chase flamed out.
Yeah.
And he like I said, he like mentally told himself, like, back down. We're good with second.
Well, here's the thing with these guys, like you're talking about with racecraft, with Roxon and Webb. You know where Roxon qualified? 13th.
Yeah, well, I did actually know that. Yeah, it was
13th.
way back there.
Way back there. So how would, like us going over times and stuff, you're like, oh, he's way off tonight.
Yeah.
But dude, the guy just knows how to get a start. Same with Webb. I think he was like, 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere around there.
Fast.
And he gets a start, and he's up there always. Those guys are just gamers. They're total gamers. Doesn't matter where they're at. So that's tough. I agree. But you want to see it some more. You want to see
I
me
do.
gain some more points on you, so that's
Because
fine.
it's like I'm taking this seriously now. It's like I really want to get these picks correct. I feel like A1 just totally floundered me, and now
Dude, but you got so lucky.
That
He should have had a 15-pointer, maybe 20.
yeah. But that
But
Malcolm.
that Malcolm pick. And that's what we're talking about, guys. We talked about it last week. You get that wild card pick, and you're back into it. I mean, you could just totally be terrible on your top 5 because I think he had Jet, Hunter, and then if he could have put Jet in every other position behind that, I think he would have.
Guaranteed.
But okay, so 7th place, I got the Cowboy.
Okay.
Classic.
Don't follow you there. I like your top 5. Don't like the 7. For
What? You think that's too high for the guy? The guy won a race last year.
He's
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you heard that, guys?
okay.
Put that in the comments. I think Cowboy gets it done.
My flounder would have been like, okay, I picked Hunter for the wild card. I think someone in that speed, we might see Barsha right there. So that's why I was like, Barsha, Hunter, who's faster?
Yeah, the worry for me, I think Hunter's going to be the test dummy for Jet for the rest of the season.
Just trying different suspensions.
Yeah,
for
they're going to be like, hey,
we need you to block for Rod.
no, dude, totally. I think he's just going to be the guy that's like, hey, here, try this for Jet, and he's going to end up going down. He's going to be that
Suck.
He's going to be that scapegoat the whole year.
Suck.
But yeah, I think this week is going to be great. Like I said, there's going to be great weather. It's going to be fantastic racing again, guys. I think we're getting spoiled this season more than others. Just seems like anything can happen.
That's every year, but I think it's even more so this year just because the top 12, all former champions, like we said, it changes some things. All right. So another thing that I think we need to mention really quick was someone that did really good in the 250 class that I just didn't expect. And I think we need to give Shimoda a little shout out here.
Yeah, Shimoda just absolutely took it. And he's not one for going right, doing well right off the bat on A1. I think
he's a locomotive.
Yeah, exactly. And he just had a great start. Bike seemed to be running good for him. Factory Honda. I don't know.
So their 250 program apparently is dialed.
Yeah, exactly. They needed to be riding with Shimoda more often.
Let's play the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Do you think that if Deegan didn't go down, that he would have won?
I don't. I think Deegan, he's still on another planet.
Do you think Deegan and Jet just go to Lake Havasu together and just sit there and talk about how great they are?
Oh, they just. Yeah, that's a little too past PG than I want to talk about, but I do think that they are very confident.
Yeah, and they're very similar guys.
Very similar guys. Danger Boy's been doing this since he was 2-3 years old. His dad's kind of groomed him to this guy, which is cool. I think it's great for the sport. I do like what Deegan said. Obviously, he crashed, off the start, had no visor. But
still got a fifth.
He got a fifth. He was riding really good, and he gets interviewed. And he basically says, "Hey, I appreciate getting to talk, but at the same time, the top 3 guys is where all the light needs to be shined." And I thought that was pretty solid.
That was classy.
That was classy of him because it is correct. Top 3 should be the only one talking, but I did like hearing from Tomac. He got a fifth as well. So I would say it's good because there's a lot of stuff going on back there that you would love to hear from those guys. And I do like what they're doing. I think just a shout out to the broadcast. I think the broadcast is getting much, much better.
It is
just with James and Ricky and
it's that experience thing, as things go on. It's like you get that vibe and
especially with Race Day Live now with Adam Cianciarulo, Justin Brayton. They did a great job. I think those guys are really good at bantering back and forth.
My wife actually was cracking jokes about Cianciarulo.
Yeah,
she was like, you know what he seems like on TV? I'm like, what? She's like, he just seems like a nerd. I'm like, what? Like Cianciarulo's he's got a podcast.
He does. To me, he kind of seems like that goody two shoes guy.
Yeah,
I could agree with that. But the guys is great at speaking. He's awesome, and I think what they're really hitting home on now is they want it to be more of a fan experience. They want it to be more like football.
It should be.
It's dedicated to a whole day. You get to hear everyone talk, and I think that's super sick. But let's get back to the 250 class.
Yeah, because also, what do you think about that Triumph dude on the podium?
Yeah, Jordan Smith looks solid.
So sick.
I do love when Ricky's talking about the Triumph guys because he's obviously their brand ambassador, maybe even higher than that. There,
I think he's an investor too.
Yeah, he really is invested in Triumph doing well. He's like, Jordan, he's got to get up. He's got to get up because I think he stalled it at one point, but he ended up getting it on the box, which is pretty rad.
That's so sick. I thought the kit looked good. That neon green.
FXR, shout out to Carson out there. Yeah, seriously. Not sponsored, but sponsored. FXR has been hooking us up forever. And fun fact, I was at A1 9 years ago when FXR was first starting out, and that's when I met Carson.
Oh, okay.
And now to see them on the box and all the premier classes is pretty rad to see. And so it's cool seeing them trying.
They got good riders.
Yeah.
Julian Beaumay getting second, which I thought was super rad. Mr. Jet Ski Racer, just such a multi-talented, multifaceted, just anything with handlebars. He's just good.
Solid kid too.
Yeah.
I mean, just not obviously boastful. He knows his business, and I think he's got
a very serious game face on all the time.
For real, I was actually going to say that too. His face is just like.
Yeah, dude's just locked in all the time.
Yeah. And they got that factory KTM. Factory KTM's looking good for all the headaches they've been going through. So,
a homie of mine out of Bakersfield, California, Ryder DeFrancesco, going 4th on the gas.
Yeah, he looks good too. Man, that kid's growing up too, huh?
God, they said he's one of the tallest in the 250 class.
Well, he's kind of like that Adam Cianciarulo thing, kind of the identical thing, because Adam Cianciarulo and Ryder D were on Kawasaki, Team Green, and they were always super tiny.
Yeah,
and then they get up on a big bike, and now they're massive human beings. So
yeah, they just sprout up.
That's rad.
We would like to give a couple personal shout outs. First of all, to Lux Turner. He's one of the Carson Valley guys here. That's
local kid, awesome.
Local kid that Dirt Trick's been supporting him and his efforts since Minis.
Yeah,
And
it's rad to see him and his sister both ripped. So that's
Yeah.
cool to come from a little town. And what did he get? 11th?
11th,
Yeah.
just outside the top 10, which is still fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, good job, Lux.
Yep.
Very, very good.
Hunter Yoder, who I think finished right behind him. He's on Team PRMX. We got a lot of guys on the 250
We do.
class. So we want to say thank you to all you
The
guys.
SLR guys, Parker Ross, Noah Viney, Gavin Towers.
Yep. Mhm.
And then Styles Robertson, he's another one of the Bakersfield kids that we grew up with back in California racing a lot.
Another Team Green kid.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Styles, he's coming back off of a pretty gnarly injury.
And he's on a Triumph,
and
right?
going to Triumph,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot that he's going to have to learn this year, but I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more from him. And same thing with Jet Reynolds, too, who just wrapped up that 22nd place.
And I think the East Coast is going to get pretty rad because obviously we saw something that was unprecedented was Kitchen bowing out at the last minute. He was sick. He has some kind of flu or something along those lines. He did press day. He did free practice. He wasn't at the press conference, but he decided to bail out. I'm too sick. I'm going to lose too many points. So they pulled him, and now he'll be racing East Coast, which is going to just stack that East Coast. It's going to be nuts. And we just found out Ty Masterpool, who we've been helping him and his brother out for the dawn of time too.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys. He's going to be going over to West Coast.
To West Coast, which is I don't
Down
like
around,
that.
down around, which
I don't
is,
like that.
sucks for him. You know, like if I'm Ty and I've practiced this whole off season for a full season of Supercross to
Right.
show him what I got, and now I'm down a race. So hey, obviously Mitch is making it worth his while.
And I guess that's kind of the thing we need to remember too is, Mitch is a team owner. He's got advisors and things like that are telling him like, hey, I think we should move this chess piece to this chess piece.
Yeah.
And
which is cool. It's kind of like a team. It's obviously a team, but
their championship contender is Levi Kitchen. And so why wouldn't they,
Yeah.
do everything to get him on an East Coast bike? And that means that they have an extra bike to fill on West Coast. And, let's go ahead and send
time.
Ty out there. And Ty, like you said, he's a homie of Dirt Tricks. He runs our sprockets on his personal bike, and he's just the whole family's just good people.
Oh my gosh, they're the best people. I mean, what was it, 2-3 years ago when Ty was putting basically a stock KX 450 in the top 5 in pro motocross? He was battling with Tomac.
Unreal.
It was
I was
so
going to say it was up
sick.
at Thunder Valley.
Dude.
Just totally
Oh my
laid it out.
gosh, it was
Amazing.
the most incredible thing I've probably ever watched. But it's going to be good. The 250 class, like we said, we thank everyone that's running our stuff.
A lot of 450 guys too. I mean, we're
Freddie Norn, who put it up there.
Dude, I was stoked on Norn in the LCQ.
Yep, he did great.
Sure.
He won it.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be a great season, guys. We thank you. I want to shout out Rocky Mountain because they've stepped their game up as well with their app.
Yeah.
Their app is much more intuitive and easy to use for fantasy now. It gives you, best lap times from last week. It's much easier to look at how people did last week. Easier to find groups. Again, Dirt Tricks, you got to look it up, guys. We're doing prizes. We've got some great stuff. Dave was down there, our shop manager here, and he picked up some cool jerseys for the end.
I saw a short one.
End of the year prizes. So make sure you guys are tagging along. Put your comments down there, guys. We're excited to be here. So thanks, guys.
Stoked. And guys, we're going to wrap it up right here. We can't wait to see you guys after San Diego heading into A2. So make sure
Beautiful San Diego.
Keeping your eyes out for that video. So until then, we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the races.
Thanks, guys.